Nathan Holliday here, and welcome to another episode of the Gym Mastery Podcast. And today is actually another solo episode, and I know I'm not all that interesting, but this is important information in general, and it lays a solid foundation because today we'll be discussing the foundational concepts behind level method group programming and our approach. So join me now as we dive in. Levels, intent, and themes, LIT, is a simple way to remember the philosophy behind level method programming. Each of the letters, L, I, and T, embodies a specific aspect of group fitness programming. And the level method or Legion programming mission is to provide the best group programming to the greatest number of gyms that have wide-ranging clients and ways of doing fitness and business. And there are two important points to address before we get started. Number one is in facility programming, one of the challenges is to be specific enough to be effective and get desired results while also varied enough to be engaging, interesting, and fun over the long term. Add to this the many opinions and belief systems about what's good or bad programming, what there should be more or less of, and it's clear that providing gym programming is a multifaceted challenge. We have to account for specific preferences like more strength, longer workouts, and differing and nuanced philosophies in general. There are different warm-up preferences, equipment preferences, and availability, and unique logistics. And when we run our surveys, the same exact week will be ranked high or low by various gyms based on these preferences. Number two is that some members come in every day and others only on some days, and this varies between gyms. And this is a factor that cannot be controlled. And so because of that, we make sure that every workout is productive. So no matter what day people come in, there is a good workout for them to do. And because of that, we don't have dedicated recovery days besides an open/rest day on Sunday. And we highly suggest adjusting this as you see fit. We vary movement patterns and loading, but based on how themes fall, which we'll look at later, and there are times with higher loading on certain movement patterns. So making adjustments based on facility or individual needs is where coaching and customization comes in, and we often reiterate the benefit of tweaking and customizing our programming. And this is just a clarification before we get started that no program can be totally perfect for every gym because of preferences and beliefs, and we highly suggest making adjustments if they are needed for your community. But what we do is give you a super strong programming base, completely done for you, which at the same time is highly specific if you choose to make tweaks. Seen through the lens of lots of different gym owners, our philosophy will provide a clear, easily seen focus because our programming is lit. The first principle of our programming philosophy is levels, the L of lit, and it allows everyone in class to do a workout that is appropriate for them in terms of movement patterns, loading, and energy systems, and they perform at their appropriate and proven level. And this concept allows for systematic individualization in a group environment, a group fitness environment. And that is, we individualize the group experience. And to do this, we need levels. We need a structure that lets us put handles on our clients so we understand their fitness at a glance. And we identify abilities and quantify performance so we can systematically adjust and scale based on real, dynamically adjusting data. Levels gives us an objective, big picture view of clients in terms of their fitness. But this can still be too broad. So we need a way of further customizing workouts to get closer to the ideal. And to do this, our programming uses levels consideration. And just a quick note to pay attention to the distinction between levels considerations, which is based on the 15 level categories, and the 6 overall levels, white to brown, that our programming uses. And just a note, brown is considered conventionally as RX. Now, each workout in our programming is appropriate for all 6 overall levels and for the full spectrum of each of those levels, right? So for example, for blue to blue 3, Olive blue, the blue workout would be about appropriate, right? But there's still a range from blue to blue 3. Depending on the category levels and also the workout specifics like systems and movements, the intention of a blue workout might not be precisely correct for a blue level client because of individual strengths and weaknesses. Someone might be blue overall, but with red strengths and orange weaknesses, and we see this pretty frequently. And levels considerations addresses this need for precision adjustments. And the precise name would really be level category considerations because of all 15 of our map categories. They're considered within levels considerations, but we can customize a workout based on the individual levels that pertain to a workout rather than on the overall level of an individual. I know this might sound confusing, so let's use an example. Just follow along with me of what we call a breathe and burn workout that has deadlifts and push-ups. A female client with the overall level of blue comes in with a strength in the deadlift of red, right? So she's red in the deadlift, but a weakness in upper body push at orange. So her overall level is blue, but she has this weakness of orange and this strength of red. And we know this based on her levels. And we can refer to the day's workout for appropriate adjustments around safety and consistency. And so we scale it down to an orange upper body push level. So in this case, orange upper body push for the workout was box push-ups. But for the deadlifts, we can bump it up to a higher weight. And in this case, bumping her to 105 as opposed to 85 because she has proven competence at this level and above. And so this allows an appropriate deadlift weight that matches our intention for the workout and produces a challenging workout that produces results. So for the client, she would do a workout that includes deadlifts at 105 and box push-ups. And she could have done the blue workout, right? The blue workout is the static one that's comparable. But say she did the blue workout, she'd then be doing 85-pound deadlifts and floor push-ups. So the push-ups would be too hard and the deadlifts would be too easy, right? So you kind of get this mix-up. But because we have levels considerations, we can systematically customize the workout so that she hits the bullseye of the workout's intent. And again, I have to emphasize that systematic aspect. By offering such a clear structure and rule set, members can have a better understanding and help manage themselves, which is pretty cool. And you might remind them to check their specific levels before class to see what they should do. Obviously, the coach will be there, but these self-adjustments are yet another reason to be confident that each workout is exactly right for them. They're confident about that too. Levels considerations take us far beyond normal scaling, and we can provide a workout totally appropriate for anyone and do it in a group. And this is something clients can't get anywhere else. No one else can do this. And almost everyone is still working from this version, some version of the RX mentality. The RX idea in fitness has always identified some external goal, an ideal that's, a single standard for everyone. And the workout itself is the RX, the stimulus or the prescription. But in the real world where there are actual medical consequences and different things, prescriptions are specific to the person with dosing based on individual attributes such as body weight and gender and age. And coaches need to do the same thing and dose people appropriately via the attributes of their level, experience, and goals. So that is L in lit. When we say intent, we mean that there's a reason for what we do and a clear, explainable, logical method to attain a specific result. Fundamentally, intent is about energy systems and sensations. And energy systems map out how the body uses various fuels like ATP, sugar, fat for activity, while sensation is the way the activity is perceived by the conscious mind. And they're directly related. And by identifying the sensation, we can understand what energy system is being used, which tells us how effectively our method is achieving the intent. And so the primary question is, how did the workout feel? In relation to programming, intent is about the adaptation you're looking for. And as coaches, we identify the desired outcome and relate this in an understandable way. We identify work that elicits the desired adaptation, and then we match this work with its predictable and necessary sensation. In other words, we leverage our understanding of energy systems. And energy systems are understandable and identifiable because of how they make us feel. We use bioenergetic notation and AKA names, and that sounds complicated, but it's just a matching of the sciencey name with a real world name, and we'll do a deep dive into energy systems soon. But briefly, in our coach's notes, assigned to every workout are 3 letters, V, P, or E. They stand for ventilation, plumbing, or electricity. And there are many names for these. In classic CrossFit methodology, they are oxidative, glycolytic, phosphagen, and you may also know them as aerobic, lactic, anaerobic. But ours, VPE, those are derived from the house analogy, and it's a simplified way to explain high-level energy system concepts, and it helps everyone understand and leverage these ideas faster. This has been a big problem with conventional fitness-based energy system models, and the jargon and concepts are either too simplistic or too complicated, and I just wanted something that worked in the real world and made sense. So I took a pragmatic view and framed an energy system model, the VP or E of bioenergetic notation. And this is logical and can be understood quickly by both clients and coaches. We take a step further by providing or giving the 3 letters VPE descriptive AKA names, right? Also known as names. Breathe and burn, for example, or full body burn. These simple names accurately identify stimulus and help us adjust it. So when we say intent, it assumes an understanding of these energy systems, and this is such an important concept. Doing a workout in a certain way will produce predictable sensation. It can take a while to learn this, so a specific sensation implies a specific stimulus, which produces adaptation, which leads to a specific result or hitting a goal. Understanding all of this is great, but the next necessary step is to relate these ideas to members. And this is super hard to do because some members aren't interested, they're not motivated, or they're not maybe even able yet to understand it because they're kind of advanced concepts. The truth is they don't need to, they may not want to, and it's really not their job. Many coaches themselves don't have a full grasp on energy system concepts. But this is kind of to be expected, and people need long-term exposure to these ideas, and then it takes time and study to master them. But we make this process much, much faster and easier. We want to accelerate the speed that clients can understand this information and then can use it in a practical way. Understanding allows faster learning so we can differentiate between systems and build increased awareness and clarity. If we do this, our clients receive a huge advantage. Even if they aren't athletically advanced, understanding these concepts accelerates all aspects of fitness. It produces deeper fulfillment because things just make more sense. And they know more than other friends, especially the one that's doing fitness across country and always talking to them about it. When my members traveled and visited other gyms, they know much more than the coaches. And my members wondered why things were so chaotic there, why the briefings made no sense, and the scaling was all over the place. Overall, it just felt like, to them, it felt like there was no rhyme or reason, no method to the workout or to the way it was explained or described. The intent was not clear. When our intent is clear and we have the tools to explain in simple ways that make sense and have real-world usefulness, we do a huge service to our clients. We teach them how to evoke fitness adaptations by leveraging energy systems as experienced through the sensations they provoke, right? So the energy systems produce the sensation. The client learns how to connect those and what that means and what's going to actually happen in terms of adaptation over time. So that ends intent. Finally, after the levels and intent of our lit philosophy, we have themes. Our solution to the very challenging problem of developing a structure to facility programming for a wide range of gyms is themes. And for years at my gym, we would run 6 to 8 week cycles where each week had a similar day makeup. So on Monday, they'd have similar kinds of stuff, and then Tuesday had its own distinct type of work. And my background is in individualized program design, and this is the general approach in that world because you can control it and you have the structure. And at my gym, I had buy-in from all my members, and they loved it and it worked. They understood and participated fully in what we were doing. But when we brought this idea, right, this templated idea to facility programming, it failed miserably. And within 2 months, we had to totally overhaul our approach because, there's too many complaints, basically. And I mentioned it earlier, but it is challenging to deliver a product to a wide range of coaches and owners, all of whom have different ideas of what good is. And sure, there are fundamentals, but there's disagreement sometimes even about those. And the truth is, making everybody happy is impossible, even within a single facility, as you well know. Every experienced gym owner knows that you can't make everybody happy, even within your gym, right? And nevertheless, we always do strive for the best. And it took a few years to figure out how to tackle this problem. And the answer for us is themes. You can think of themes as a high-level, less rigid template. And by rotating through themes methodically yet varied, we're sure to get exposure to a wide variety of worlds within fitness. We keep things interesting and fun, and we layer in cool learning opportunities. Themes provide the best possible overall group programming, and they give us a structure to say, okay, in these months, we're going to hit these specific types of things, and we know for sure that nothing is going to be missed, and we can easily communicate all this to our clients. And then when we plan the weeks, we can be flexible and creative within that structure. We don't focus on one thing for too long or get stuck in a single area of fitness. And over months, mistakes like that can result in missing crucial elements of well-rounded programming. And I've seen it happen many times in my own experience as an athlete and as a coach. It's easy to think everything is going perfectly only to discover you've neglected some big area and you suddenly think like, oh, wow, we haven't even been doing this at all. And so when you work inside of a framework, or if you work within the framework of themes, this allows us to make sure that we're hitting these big targets. And so we have 5 broad themes. I'm going to list them out and then we're going to take a little dive into each one of these. Number 1, energy system. Number 2, electricity discipline. Number 3, the map strength progression. Number 4, virtuosity. And number 5, fun and cool. And just a little side note, when we first started providing programming, we were combining the 2 categories of energy systems and electricity discipline into one, but we evolved out of that, and it just proved to be better to separate out electricity as its own thing and have it as a constant. And this small tweak, this refinement, helped us move far past the popular formula that everybody knows of strength plus metcon. Okay, so there's a little note on that. But energy systems, the first one, it essentially alternates between ventilation and plumbing, and we treat electricity differently, even though it is technically an energy system in our model. This means at a high level, during ventilation months, there's generally more breathing, lighter weights, or longer workouts, again, in general, but not enough to be obvious. Likewise, on plumbing months, we'll have somewhat more muscular-based work, some work capacity stuff in the lactic realm. But in either case, a member is not going to be able to tell what's going on unless it's pointed out by you. And so in the back end, you can see what's happening and how it's being manifested into training. So that's energy system. The second one, electricity discipline. This is characterized generally broadly as high muscular tension. It rotates, right? So the electricity discipline rotates between gymnastics, powerlifting, and weightlifting. And by those names, we don't mean the sport itself. We mean the nature of the contractions within those worlds. So gymnastics might have more stability and tension, high tension, body weight tension, while powerlifting would be more like grindy reps in like 3 to 5 to 6, range. And then weightlifting is more on the dynamic side. And all of these require high muscular tension, but each allows for different emphases within the group environment or the group classes. I think I just said emphases. But the MAP strength progression is the next one in the group here. So we're on number 3 now. And the MAP strength progression theme lets us progress a given strength movement over 4 to 5 weeks, and then leads into an assessment opportunity at the end of the period. This is how we sort of weave in the MAP categories. It's not like super obvious. We're not really trying to hammer on them, but we're weaving them in so there's some strength progression every month. And these are movements like press, pull-up, squat endurance, deadlift, weightlifting, front squat, the MAP categories. And for early levels, doing the movement once per week generally builds enough familiarity. If they're doing a progression and they do it once per week, it builds enough familiarity to yield a level up. But for upper levels, it's likely that 1 time a week is not going to be enough on its own. They're in a different phase of training. It's more like they actually have to make, it's not just central nervous system adjustments or like neurological adjustments. It's actual, they have to build muscle, that sort of thing. And that's slower. So any upper levels who are intending to assess at the end of the month. So we know that, okay, we're going to do front squat at the end of the month, and that's announced because we make it very clear. You might want to give them additional weekly sessions or provide that to them. You could have a program or something like that. But the bottom line is that the progression allows consistent progress on important movements. And again, they're rotated. Number 4, we have virtuosity. The virtuosity theme is all about exposure to a wide range of worlds within fitness, and this adds variety to training while simultaneously focusing on the mastery of fundamentals. Virtuosity is woven throughout the workouts of these weeks in terms of skill work and or movements and implements, right? So these are broken into 4 categories. Our virtuosity is broken into 4 categories. We got body weight / gymnastics, we got barbell, and then we have kettlebell, and then we have dumbbell, right? So for body weight gymnastics, you'll see more basic body weight movements like air squats or burpees. Sometimes you'll see more complex movements that include rings. The barbell theme generally includes, at the higher level, skills like barbell cycling, these sorts of things, but also, fundamental movements. Then the kettlebell and dumbbell, they're separate, but they're both unilateral. But they offer a variety of movements and patterns. So during the dumbbell themes, we might see dumbbell variations when appropriate. And we normally only do single arm just because of the equipment requirements. And then during kettlebell themes, it's generally more kettlebell work, including things like, Turkish get-up, some of these more focused movements within the kettlebell world. But by organizing in this way, we don't miss anything, right? And the training stays interesting. And sometimes we get complaints from people who think each month is going to be the same. So for example, it's a body weight themed month with much less barbell work in general. And we might get comments like, we need more barbell, like what's going on here? So when we work with themes, you can see how it all fits together. But without this understanding, things might seem lopsided or wrong because we're looking at it like at a micro level. And finally, number 5 is the fun and cool theme. Now, this was initially not a priority at all because personally, we don't really care if things are fun or cool or not. We care about results and about making sure clients are doing appropriate training based on their levels or ability. Now, in practice, as I mentioned, doing kind of boring stuff is a miserable failure, right? Because if clients don't do it, it can be the best training in the world that gets amazing results. But no matter how good it is, if clients won't do it, then it's dead on arrival, right? If people feel like they're missing out on the fun and cool stuff that friend across the country is doing all the time, they might look elsewhere. So after enough feedback of like, this training is boring and my clients are complaining, we added in the fun and cool theme. So once or twice a year, we do a public vote on fun, cool themes. So they're not static, and they kind of rotate, they change. It's not really, there's no like schedule for it. Some of the ones that we've done in the past that were voted on: CrossFit Girls, games workouts, the classic workouts like Fight Gone Bad, 50-50, Heroes, bodybuilding, and strongman. So when those do come up, the fun and cool theme comes up. It's in every month, but about 3 times per month, there's a workout from whatever the fun and cool theme is. So for CrossFit Girls, you'll see a few workouts woven throughout, and these can also work as events, right? We generally put these fun and cool workouts from the theme on Saturdays. So that wraps up themes, the T in lit, and these concepts make up our primary philosophy of programming for group fitness. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Gym Mastery Podcast. If you know someone who might like it, please share it with them. And if you're a gym owner wondering about the level method, in a nutshell, it's a step-by-step fitness progression system that's fun, engaging, and easy to use so that regular folks in your gym can reach their fitness goals safer and faster than ever before and become raving fans of your gym. If that sounds interesting, please go to levelmethod.com to get in touch with us. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.